During coal exploration and excavation on January 22, 1959, the miners in the Knox coal mine encountered a terrible disaster, impacting the exchange of money and power in northeastern Pennsylvania for decades to come. The type of coal mined at the Knox was called anthracite coal. Around 1769, a blacksmith named Obadiah Gore first encountered anthracite. Gore found that he could use anthracite in his forge to keep the fire burning longer. Other blacksmiths found out how Gore was keeping his fire going so well and also started to use this coal. Obadiah Gore is sometimes referred to as the father of the anthracite industry because of this. Anthracite coal is also called hard coal because it is formed under tremendous heat and pressure. It is harder and more pure than bituminous coal, which is referred to as soft coal. Anthracite was the coal of choice for many urban areas because it burned hotter, slower, and cleaner than bituminous coal. There was only one problem. There was more bituminous coal available to be mined than there was anthracite, and in the late 1800s and early 1900s, 98% of the world's anthracite coal was located in northeastern Pennsylvania. The fields of anthracite in northeastern Pennsylvania cover more than 485 square miles across 9 counties. The mine land is split up into 4 different fields: north, south, east, and west. The Knox coal mine is located in the northern field. The northern field is the second largest coal field and covers 175 square miles. In the late 1700s, encountering this type of coal around the northern field was easy and made people want to sell it because of its abundance. At this time, however, commercial uses had not been deeply explored. Around 1803, Philip Ginder picked up a piece of this coal and took it to Jacob Weiss at Fort Allen. Jacob Weiss then brought the chunk to Philadelphia and confirmed that it was, in fact, coal. After Weiss had confirmed it was coal, he, Charles Sist, Jacob Nicholas, and Michael Hilliger created the Lehigh Coal Mining Company, the first anthracite coal mining company. In 1803, 2 boatloads of this coal were shipped down the Lehigh River, but unfortunately, this coal could not be sold because it was too difficult to ignite. During the War of 1812, the shipment of British coal that Americans normally received was cut off because of the war. This left Americans with no coal to use for basic needs such as heating their homes or fueling the industry. This opened opportunities for exploration of the uses of anthracite coal, which led to the start of the anthracite era. Over the course of the next 100 years, many immigrants came to America from all over the world for a better life. These men needed jobs. This created jobs in the mines, on the railroad, in the coal breakers, and much more. There were many mine tunnels in the northern field, which meant there was more coal. The northern field in particular contained some of the area's highest quality anthracite. When more immigrants came, more coal was produced and a bigger profit was made. This caused the anthracite industry to be the base of a thriving Pennsylvania economy. January 22, 1959 was an unusually warm winter day in northeastern Pennsylvania. The temperatures reached 60 degrees for 2 days and rains poured down. This caused an unexpected and unusual January thaw. The Susquehanna River rose from just over 2 feet to 16 feet in less than 2 days from the rain and melting snow and ice. As the river swelled, watery ice chunks moved rapidly downstream past many mining towns including Port Griffith. Around 11:30 a.m. the morning of January 22, 1959, the Susquehanna River broke through the top of the Knox Coal Company's river slope, dumping 10 million gallons of water and ice from the river into the mine. This created a whirlpool at the mouth of the break. In a desperate attempt to stop the flow of water from the Susquehanna River into the mine, over 400 coal cars were dumped off the bank into the whirlpool. In addition to the coal cars, hay bales, railroad ties, and many tons of clay and rock were poured off the bank into the rushing waters. These objects did not create a sufficient enough block to stop the waters from rushing into the mines. The owners of the Knox needed to explore a different way to stop the waters from rushing into the mine. In the river, across from where the break happened, there was an island called Wintermoot Island. Since the hay bales and coal cars could not plug the hole, they created dams on both ends of this island. Once the dams are created and the flow of water stopped from between the dams, the water was pumped out. Now the company could see the size of the break was about 150 feet in diameter. More clay and rock was dumped into the hole and a permanent concrete cap was placed over the top. Once the hole was sealed, the Knox Coal Company pumped out most of the water in the mine in hope of finding the 47 miners that reported for work that morning and were not accounted for. The original plan for the mine was to keep 50 feet of rock and coal between the river and the mine wall, but the company wanted this lowered to 35 feet. Mine inspectors approved this distance because it would still be able to hold the weight of the river. After the miners reached 35 feet, the Knox Coal Company pushed the limits further and further and just paid off the inspectors. At the point in the wall where the river broke through, the wall was only 5 or 6 feet wide and not thick enough to support the river's weight. At 11:30, when the roof came down, 47 men did not escape the flooding mine. That evening, Joe Stella became a local hero by saving 35 of these men that were trapped. Hope for the other 12 slowly faded over the next couple of days. The newspapers gave updates from the disaster site throughout the week until the governor declared a state of emergency and rescue work was halted. 12 men were eternally trapped in that mine. Samuel Altieri, John Beloga, Benjamin Boyar, Francis Burns, Charles Featherman, Joseph Janiski, Dominic Kavaliski, Frank Orlowski, Eugene Ostrowski, William Sinclair, Daniel Stefanidis, and Herman Zelonius. Before he died in that mine, Frank Orlowski frequently said to his sister, "One of these days we are all going to die with our boots on like rats in a trap." Herman Zelonius, also one of the 12 trapped men, told his sister, "If that river ever comes in, we'll be drowned like rats." Eugene Ostrowski also consistently had nightmares of his bedroom ceiling falling in on him and his son during the night while they slept. When the 12 miners got trapped in the mines, their families encountered many problems. They weren't even able to bury their bodies. Audrey Calvi, the daughter of one of the 12 miners, John Beloga, went to claim her father's life insurance, and the insurance company would not let her because she had no proof of her father's death. Her father's body was still trapped in the mine. It wasn't until 7 years after the disaster that she could claim the insurance policy. The Pennsylvania Coal Company owned the mines. To make more money with less work, they leased out coal veins to other companies. This was the arrangement between the Pennsylvania Coal Company and the Knox Coal Company at Port Griffith. The more coal that the Knox mined, the more money they earned, and the richer the Pennsylvania Coal Company became. In a similar way, the Knox Coal Company paid the miners based on how much coal they extracted. Every chunk of coal extracted from underground resulted in a miner earning a little bit more money for his family. This exchange structure generated a pattern of pushing the limits to get every piece of coal possible in the easiest way possible. Miners robbed the coal pillars that held up the mine ceiling. They dug out the coal that formed their safety net from the raging river above. Both the Pennsylvania and the Knox Coal Companies knew this was a dangerous practice, but did nothing to stop it because they were making more money also. Many miles of mine flooded since most of the company's mines in the Wyoming Valley were connected. At the time of the disaster, northeast Pennsylvania was the source of more than 98% of anthracite mining in the world. This was the largest set of mines in the Wyoming Valley, and they had hit their big boom in production in 1917 with 100 million tons of coal produced that year. This disaster ended anthracite mining in the northern fields. The popularity of coal being chosen as a fuel source had already started to go down. The layers in the mines that were dug had most of the coal extracted from them, and it would cost more to dig deeper and extract more coal. This was because there was natural groundwater in the mines, and the cost of pumping it out was very high. Oil was an alternative source of fuel that was becoming the more popular choice. Exchange of money and power was becoming an issue, and greed had taken over the anthracite industry. After the disaster happened, the company explored exactly how this could have happened and who was responsible. Because anthracite coal was such a good source of fuel, the greedy owners of the Knox explored ways to get as much of it as they could. This caused organized crime down in the mines. Corruption had become a large part of the organized crime in the anthracite coal mines by 1959, when rumors of organized crime surfaced concerning the owners of the Knox Coal Company and in District 1 of the United Mine Workers of America, or UMWA, a committee known as the Special Group on Organized Crime was put together. They recruited a grand jury, and after hearing from more than 30 witnesses and reviewing hundreds of company mine records, they were able to narrow the charges down to a few people. Included in this group were the owners of the Knox mine, Louis Fabrizio and Robert Daugherty. Fabrizio was charged with 25 counts of bribing a UMWA Local 8005 official in a sweetheart deal, in which the union bluntly disregarded the labor management contract that was set. Daugherty also was charged, but only on 9 counts. Dominic Alminio, a UMWA official, was charged with 34 counts of receiving illegal payments from the Knox Company office. The people of northeastern Pennsylvania were not satisfied with the amount of money or power they had, so they were willing to do anything to get more. The Knox coal mine disaster has changed the way money and power are exchanged in northeastern Pennsylvania.